Thanks for tuning in to the Old Dirty Basement. On this week's episode, we're covering Sam Bankman-Fried.
Yeah, everything all settled, all things said and done. I think this is just a story about a guy who was out of his depth, didn't know what he was doing.
This guy had enough money at one time to put dollar bills 4 times around the world.
26 times, 4 times.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, Tales from the Crypto with Zap,
Ooh, I like that.
the Crypto Keeper.
Well done.
Yeah, so we hope you enjoyed the podcast. Speaking of which, if you are, leave us a 5-star rating. On Apple, a written review. And sit back, relax, and enjoy Sam Bankman-Fried.
This is the Old Dirty Basement, home to debauchery, madness, murder, and mayhem. A terror-filled train ride deep into the depths of the devil's den.
With a little bit of humor.
History.
And copious consciousness.
I'm your announcer, Shallow Throat. Your hosts are Dave, Matt, and Zap. I love you, Matthew McConaughey. All right, all right, all right.
Hey, this is Dave,
Matt.
And Zap.
And welcome to the Old Dirty Basement.
where every week we cover a true crime.
Murder.
Or compelling story.
So sit back.
Relax.
And comprehend.
Hello, hello, and another hello.
Trace helloes.
Yes, tres helloes. I like that. That's German for 3 amigos.
Indeed.
Nice.
That was awesome. How's everybody doing?
Can't complain, man.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah, no, the traffic Zap.
Traffic is awful. Around these parts, you've got the construction on 83, which will be long dead before that's finished. I can promise you that.
You think?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
We'll be driving in our olden age as that project is being completed.
Conversely, there is the opportunity for all cars to be flying by then, and we wouldn't need the roads.
Right.
What I don't understand is all the off-ramps they're making. There's enough off-ramps. That's what causes the jams and the congestion. Like,
No, either that or just stupid people.
yeah, but they're just like, I'm making more off-ramps onto like one major artery.
I don't even know.
It makes no sense.
And then the other way today, 81.
Ew.
Well, so I love the 81. So coming from my neck of the woods, 81 is banging, and it's quick. It is quick. It's wide, 3 lanes both ways. It's awesome.
Aren't they making it 4 now? 4 or 5? I think 5 on each side.
I mean, 81 is pretty solid the way it is. It's
Okay.
83 is the
83.
one that they're banging up into 4, whatever, both ways. But there was an accident on 81, and it basically closed the road, all 3 lanes. So, yeah.
You won't be traveling in the future anyhow. Everybody will be VR
That's right.
at home and
Or it could teleport here.
and paying with everything with cryptocurrency.
Oh, what a good trick. I like what you did there. Good segue.
Yeah.
So speaking of crypto,
You can pay in crypto.
today we'll be talking about Sam Bankman-Fried.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like a made-up name. Like
Yeah,
when
it
I looked
does.
at it, it didn't even sound real.
Yep.
He sounds very like money-like.
Bankman-Fried.
Mm-hmm.
So that, of course, is a hyphenated last name given to him by his birth mother, who, along with his father, they are both, his parents are both professors at Stanford University.
Allegedly.
Okay.
Well, interestingly enough, they're both professors of law or business or I don't know, it's some element of law at Stanford, which is amazing considering what happened with their kid.
So
Right.
good genes, though, for the young Bankman-Fried.
Good genes. Dude, this kid's a smart kid, like really smart kid. So speaking of this kid, Sam Bankman-Fried, let's just jump on in, shall we? So this cat was born on March 5th, 1992.
He's a youngin'.
Gentle reminder, the 3 of us were in our sophomore year of high school when this guy was born.
Wow.
Okay. So I want you to keep that in mind as we go through all of this. So as we were just talking, this guy is a really smart kid. He always had a flair for mathematics, as chance would have it. So as his years went on, he ended up graduating with a bachelor's in physics with a minor in mathematics from MIT in 2014.
Yeah, MIT, you're pretty smart.
Yeah,
You're going
pretty-
there.
Yeah, that's. I went
pretty
to HACC, which is just kind of like MIT,
Yeah.
just like
Yeah.
different like letters.
Yeah.
The
Still
Harrisburg
cool, though.
version, yeah.
I like that.
Is that Massachusetts Institute of Technology, correct?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's like I think the acceptance rate is like 4%. So it's something insane. I don't even think it's up to 10%.
That's where like your Val Kilmer character would end up from, like Real Genius.
100%.
Like people along those lines.
Absolutely.
Did we have anybody from our class that went to MIT? I think they have some Harvard. I don't know if there was
one
any.
Harvard. I don't know of any MIT. I know that MIT is one of 3 of these particular types of schools, like these schools that are made specifically for this research and growth and science and shit like that. The other one I think is, or the other 2, one is Tuskegee, and the other one isn't. It's not Cornell, is it? Nah, whatever it is. It's
Tuskegee, wasn't that like the airmen?
Yes.
The black pilots from World War II?
Smart people schools and the black pilots from World War II.
Yes.
Black pilots.
World War II.
White Jesus. All right. So this guy, after college, his first professional gig was trading international ETFs at Jane Street Capital. So for those of you out there, I'm sure you've heard the term ETF, but
Everybody
just in case,
has.
well, in case, exchange traded funds. Now these are very similar to mutual funds. The major difference is the open market trading, which is just on an exchange during the day for ETFs, versus aftermarket trading and settling for mutual funds. That's really the big difference. Everything else is so close. Some will argue, oh, fees this or costs that or embedded rates that. No, the difference is just with an ETF, you can day trade with an ETF.
So he started out in like a traditional financial field, like nothing. Okay.
Absolutely.
This has nothing to do with crypto or anything like that.
Not at all. Nope.
Okay.
He's just
On the market, man.
he's
Corn
a
is up
market man.
2.5%.
That's exactly right.
Okay.
Exactly. Frozen orange juice.
Yes.
Concentrate.
What movie is that from? Anyone?
Trading places.
Exactly.
I want to guess that.
Yeah. Frozen orange juice. Concentrate. Futures.
Futures.
Right. So let's see. After a little bit, he started there in 2014. He ended up leaving Jane Street Capital and with $500,000 of his own money, which he got actually as a parting gift, his severance package when he
Wow.
quit. Yeah. He founded Alameda Research in September 2017 with Tara McAuley. There you go.
I thought it was Macaulay.
Macaulay? Is that what it is?
No, I'm just saying it to be a dick.
Is it Macaulay?
I don't know.
I don't know.
It sounds like Macaulay.
It's
Macaulay?
Macaulay. Fuck.
Mhm.
Like what's that stuff that like our moms used to buy? Oil of
Olay.
Olay.
Yeah.
Macaulay.
Macaulay.
Yeah.
All right,
That's what
so
it is.
Macaulay. We're
Yes.
going to go Macaulay. So, as a chance would have it, he met this broad at the Center for Effective Altruism. He was actually a donor. Anyone at all
What's altruism?
with the idea of altruism? So, altruism is like
There's a character on
Mr. Spock.
oh, okay.
So, altruism is essentially the idea that Mr. Spock always puts out is this is by Mr. Spock. I'm talking Star Trek, not the Doctor.
Right.
So Mr. Spock always says, you have to make this decision. Does the good of the few outweigh the good of the many? Or conversely, does the good of the many outweigh the good of the few or the one? Altruism is every thought, every effort you do, anything you do has to do with the good of the people or the good of the many, not yourself.
Altruism. That's like what Rain Man had.
Yes.
He had altruism.
Yes, that's right. He had altruism.
Mild altruism.
Definitely
mild.
Kmart.
He was smart. Like kind of like this guy.
Right.
Kinda. Now this altruism stuff, this can get pretty dangerous to the extent of you ultimately end up having people that just think that they know it all and they know what's best for everybody. So then not only are it's not necessarily just charity to give money away. It's instead, I want, because I think I'm so much smarter than everybody else and I think that I can make their decisions for them so much better because all they keep doing is fucking shit up. Well, here's what they need to be doing. Here's what they should be doing. And then it just goes, bananas from there.
It becomes like political then.
Well, even more than political, like, I don't know, life controlling,
Oh, yeah.
for lack of a better word. But anyway, so this guy, good old Sam, joined the Center for Effective Altruism as the Director of Development for all of 2 months. He worked there from October to November of 2017. And within those 2 months, he and Macaulay raised $170 million to fund Alameda Research. It was just a company built to trade cryptocurrencies. So when I say they raised $170 million, that's, you're looking for venture capital.
But don't you think a lot of those things that they the altruism, that's something that I think people with money come up with to get funds to give to themselves.
Sure.
Because people don't know. And then it's something that I think people that have money look at these things as like, oh, altruism, I'll give to that. And then when people say, oh, you're giving money to altruism, that's great. And you have to be on the know to know what you're giving money to. So it just makes you look smarter and more rich.
Yes, it's very self-fulfilling.
Okay.
For sure.
Yeah.
And a way to get like a tax write-off.
Yeah.
Big head.
But then you guys are just laundering the money to yourselves. Maybe. I don't know.
Ish.
Okay.
Well, let's see. A few months later, in January 2018, through Alameda Research, Bankman-Fried organized an arbitrage trade where up to $25 million of crypto was being bought and sold every day. Okay, show of hands. Everybody know what arbitrage is?
No, I was going to ask you that.
Okay.
Sounds great. Arbitrage. Is that French?
Arbitrage.
Arbitrage.
It's like sabotage.
That'd be a good band name. Arbitrage.
Arbitrage.
I like it.
Actually, in a former employ, I had to deal with arbitrage from time to time.
Was he arrested?
No.
Oh.
Arbitrage? No. Not at all.
So 2
like
counts of arbitrage.
Is that a roast beef sandwich?
Wait a second. A roast beef sandwich?
Yeah, from like
An
arbitrage.
arbitrage. No, that's where that's the arbitrage, where you have to get the thing to bring your heart back to life.
Oh yeah, that one of those things.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the paddles and
defibrillator.
shit. That's
or
it.
whatever,
You need a defibrillator. That's the Arby's triage,
also
known as the arbitrage.
Arbitrage is just trying to set you up for failure.
right.
Maybe. So arbitrage, the act of arbitrage, is buying and selling securities, currency, or commodities in different markets or in derivative forms in order to take advantage of differing prices for the same asset.
Good Lord.
Well, so when I was dealing with arbitrage, it was in government funds and government bonds, actually. So essentially with that arbitrage, it was a matter of, because it was government money or government funds,
I like government cheese.
you couldn't take monies that were earmarked for this, that, or the other thing and start earning more in, like, if monies were earmarked to do this, that, or the other thing, you couldn't take that money in the meantime, make a good spread on something, go make some wild ass investment greater than essentially either what was projected or what you're going to be paying out conversely to that interest, if that makes sense. If not, arbitrage, it's a thing.
Listen, all y'all, this is arbitrage.
Also thought of that as well.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
You see why I had trouble like researching this guy?
You're doing fine. No, you're doing fine.
Yeah, I know, right?
I don't even know these words.
Tried to find like the kids version.
Yeah. Don't they have a cliff notes for this
So
somewhere?
So here's the greatest example, because we're talking about it. We're talking about Sam Bankman-Fried. So the arbitrage in Alameda Research's instance is a thing where Sam had discovered that Bitcoin was trading at 10% more in Japan than it was in America. So here we are. We are talking about buying and selling the same security in different markets in order to take advantage of the differing prices for that same asset. So what this cat found was that over in Japan, because there was this huge demand for it, like a ridiculous demand for this stuff, he was able to take and basically sell it there, and the cash that he would take, he would come back to send the money back to America, buy it in America, send the cash over to Japan, sell in Japan, buy in America, sell in Japan.
Mm-hmm. Easy money.
When I say send, I'm not talking FedEx, and I'm not talking about sending a slow, but I'm obviously talking about electronic, currency transfer, all of that shit. He was able to take advantage of it because, in fact, so many other traders, it went unnoticed with so many others because everybody else had their eyes on a bigger gap, which was in Korea. So the hype for Korea, just like K-pop, the demand for Bitcoin over there, which was called the kimchi. The
kimchi's delicious.
Yeah, it was like the kimchi bump or the kimchi.
Is that what it is actually called? Like,
yeah, it is. I heard about this.
It's called something. Yeah, it's called like
kimchi.
like the kimchi extra or the kimchi fee or some shit like that.
Okay.
Whatever. But that premium there, the difference between the sale price over there and the sale price in America was actually 30% higher. The problem with Korea, however, was converting the cash quickly enough. Again, you're doing this on the daily, converting the cash quickly enough back into U.S. dollars. The Korean, whatever the hell they use.
Was like their stock market over there, or
it's just being able to convert the Korean currency is so restricted that it takes days, I should say more than
to trade it over to like the American dollar.
Correct, for the transaction to settle.
All right, gotcha.
So that doesn't help. When it takes more than a day, that defeats the purpose of day trading. So in this case, this guy's day trading between Japan and the USA. Now, while it didn't last long, while that trade gap didn't last long, still over the course of just like 2 months, Alameda was able to earn close to $30 million. Now think about that. You're talking about just a 10% difference in sale price. He was able to that quickly, just buying and selling, same day, the same thing over and over and over again. I liken the situation to Office Space, right? So when in the movie Office Space,
1 cent
when they were
increasing.
they were shaving percentages of cents that went beyond 1 penny, smaller than a penny, it's exactly what this was. He just found that, and
then the company or whoever doesn't really see that missing because it's such a small amount when you're talking millions upon millions.
So from the Office Space perspective, that's obviously where it differs. Nobody's looking for anything missing. This guy's just noticing that difference between basically the U.S. demand versus the Japan demand.
That was smart. When I see things like this, I'm thinking, why don't you just stop while you're ahead?
Sure.
Like, you can almost stop working. This guy could have stopped working back then and been set. I mean, I guess it depends on your lifestyle.
Wait till we talk about this guy's lifestyle.
We'll find out, I guess.
Well, what was the movie with Charlie Sheen?
Wall Street.
Wall Street.
Yep.
Yeah, like once you get a taste for that,
Just a little taste.
But then you got guys like, I made $30 million last year, and the competitiveness to be in that field, like, I made 60, I made 80. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You just don't stop.
Right.
You want to have the best business card.
Yeah, doors like this.
Yeah, right.
They're going to get there.
Actually, did you see the new Tesla doors? Anyone?
I saw one of those pickup trucks driving around.
Cybertruck.
Yes. Oh my gosh, the whole side goes up.
I want one.
I know.
The Cybertruck.
So I want the Cybertruck, but I want one gasoline. I don't want an electric car. I
You're
never
gonna
want
convert
an
it.
electric car. I would. I fucking would. I'd get a.
You would buy a $100,000 truck.
Yep.
To convert it for another $100,000
Hell
to
yeah.
gas.
I'd forget that bed of that truck. I'd put a big tank for gasoline in there, and I'd drive around forever.
Big smokestacks.
I give you credit, Zab. That'd be the coolest shit I've ever seen.
Dude.
Like, dude, that's a cool electric car. Like, fuck your electric car, man. That's gas.
You can have that.
Just buy a Hemi, like a Ram, and then get the Cybertruck body, or
just flip
put it over top.
with the $100,000 gas conversion kit to your electric car.
I think the way I would do it, I would use the whole bed to basically fill the bed with a big tank for gas and then a generator. So that the gas would run the generator, then the generator would
make all the noise
would make the electrics.
to run the electric.
Rube Goldberg.
That's great.
Precisely. It is.
Yeah.
It is in fact the mousetrap of that.
At 8 miles a gallon.
So remember that Tara McAulay? She ended up leaving Alameda Research in April of 2018 after having founded the company not but 6 or so months earlier.
Was she pushed out, or just she wanted to do something else?
From what I read, she just didn't get along with her partner. Like, that guy was really demanding and flaky as hell, man.
Okay.
Like book smart, awesome smart, whatever, but just an asshole, complete asshole. I guess she didn't like what he was doing or where he was going or his direction that he wanted to take the company. Maybe he was just this altruism gone way too far. Who's to say?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he was already plotting to do bad things. Who's to say?
Yeah.
I'm sure that
she
someday
knew
a book
something
will come
though.
out.
Like, 6 months into owning your own company, then you're like, I'm out.
I'm out.
And you made $30 million a couple months.
Not bad.
Yeah.
That's good money.
That's weird to leave when you're that successful.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We hate it when our friends become successful.
Yeah, that's a song, right?
Yes.
Morrissey.
Yes.
Oh, for God's sake.
Don't be a hater.
Fun fact, it's emo night in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
It is at the HMAC emo night tonight.
Yeah.
I'll be so sad thinking about it right now.
So Sam moved to Hong Kong in late 2018. Within 6 months, Sam found another partner, Gary Wang,
Everybody Wang Chung tonight.
with whom he founded FTX in April 2019. So FTX is a cryptocurrency exchange, and it is a derivatives exchange. Derivatives, anybody? Derivative financial instrument is basically like futures, options, any financial instrument with a value based on other investments. It's just taking little pieces of it. It's not the face value. It's wild how that works. If there's money to be made, people find a way. So meanwhile, Alameda, which still existed, served as FTX's market maker. So a market maker is an entity that provides liquidity, and it's also able to both buy and sell, which ultimately limits volatility in whatever they're buying and selling. They basically can serve as that other end of a buyer or seller. So in FTX's cases, Alameda was able to buy or sell depending on customers' demands, sometimes even taking a loss just to keep the customers around. So what I'm saying is, let's say Dave comes to FTX and says, hey, man, I want to sell my crypto bit for whatever. Even if that's over market, Alameda would say, all right, that's cool, man. We'll buy it at that price. We'll take a haircut on that because we want to keep your business.
Damn. Out of all the things out of that, the only thing I got from that is like FTX. Wasn't that movie with Emilio Estevez?
Oh, you mean
Which one
FX?
Yes, FX. Thank you for getting that.
Wasn't it? I thought an FTX was an automobile. Or
What was the
Is that
FTX?
Cadillac?
the
The FTX.
The FTX.
Yeah.
I think it
One
was
of
a
those.
CTX, whatever.
Damn, Zap, you so smart.
So anyway, so Alameda through FTX, what it also did, it also provided the means for Alameda to profit what investors lost. So just like they could be the giving buyer, they can also be the stingy as hell seller. And look, we're only buying, or even conversely, a low bid buyer. Like, look, asshole, we see that you're sitting on these coins that aren't worth shit. We'll give you a couple of nickels, walk away. And then they'll sit on it and it'll grow. And later on they sell it for madness.
I wonder what the FTX was abbreviation for. If it was actually, is it like fungible token exchange or like
Fundable token.
Would make sense. It would make sense. I know that they just went with FTX and like they went with the names that they went with purpose, like Alameda Research.
that was in California, probably Alameda. Isn't that a county or something like that?
Sure, but they went with that because you start naming things, cryptocurrency exchange, buying and selling platform, blah, blah, blah. Nobody's going to come to it.
They're going to be like, no, I'm not messing with that.
Correct. It sounds like a scam.
FTX is just a futures exchange.
Yeah, but does it say what it
No,
stands
it's
for?
just
Like abbreviation.
yeah. Bankman-Fried was the one who started it. FTX acquired Blockfolio.
Maybe it's
cryptocurrency.
Freed. Maybe it's Freed.
Just
token exchange.
FTX is an abbreviation for futures exchange.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
FT future and the
Oh,
X
there it
exchange.
is. Okay,
There you
futures
go.
exchange. Okay.
There you go.
Because I know there's a thing called fungible tokens. I don't know if
Of
that's
course.
a similar thing.
That's where I thought that this was going as well.
Yeah.
But hey, thanks for the one source on the inner tubes. Maybe it's right.
Yeah, I don't know. This is all, like, to me, kind of foreign. Like, I don't, which we'll talk about later on, but as far as crypto, I've never dealt with it. So
I don't want to deal with it. I don't believe in that shit. It's bullshit. It's horse shit.
I like cash.
Yeah, at the end of this, I wanted to get some of your guys' input on that.
Well, none of that ever caught on, right? Are we? I mean, the Bitcoin, the crypto.
Well,
Oh, it's still a thing.
yeah.
Oh, it's still a really big thing. And it's growing. It's
Yeah.
definitely growing. Well, speaking of growing, so business was good, like really good. In fact, so good for Sam that Sam had ultimately made his way to Forbes 2021 list of 30 under 30 youngest billionaires.
Good God.
30 under 30. So he's a billionaire under 30. All this guy did was go to college. Like your mom goes to college.
He went to MIT though. That's where they're made.
I guess.
Yeah.
I guess. Well, until October 21, Sam was the CEO of both Alameda and FTX. So he's running two currency exchanges. He ended up stepping down from Alameda, however, but in when was that? In October. But he appointed his own successors. So when you're basically saying, okay, I'll step down from this company, but I'm picking the guy that's replacing me, you still got a shit ton of power in the company that you just left. That makes sense. So within a year and a half after having founded FTX, Sam moved to the Bahamas. Now, by now, this was September of 2021.
Yeah, I would think with the Bahamas, it's a lot to do with probably regulations and stuff. Like they're a lot more lenient down there, if it's what I'm thinking. Because I actually just there was an audiobook that I was checking out on this guy, Billy Walters. He's like a gambler. One of the, in his own words, he says he's the most successful gambler of all time. Bet the most money and all that.
Okay.
He moved it before gambling was legal almost everywhere. Back when it was just in Vegas. He moved to the Bahamas and ran his operation out of there because, number one, I guess, like the taxes, there was all kind of benefits and different things for moving his operation there.
Yep. It's
And-
much lighter banking regulations, much
Right.
lighter tax. You'll also hear things of like people taking their money to the Cayman Islands, or the exact same
Swiss
concept.
bank account type thing, right?
But yeah,
Not far off. Yep, not
Right.
far off.
Okay.
But one of the cool stories he had, you're talking about the gambling aspect and the amount of money that was moving around, which I'm sure this FTX had a lot of money moving around in their accounts. But he said he was asked, what was the biggest bet you ever put on like one game? He bet $4.5 million on the
God damn.
$4.5 million
Million.
on the Colts Saints Super Bowl.
Holy shit.
And I think it was 2005 maybe or 2009. And he won though. But yeah, it was it just got me to thinking because I think his operation was in the Bahamas as well. Now he ran this game. He would have a team of people calling and making bets and taking bets and no, not taking bets. He placed bets. But yeah,
Car doors go like this.
yeah,
Holy
for sure.
shit. God damn. All right. So let's see. Huge wealth. Moved to September 21. Okay. So
30 out of 30.
30 out of 30. So
Billionaires.
let us all not forget that we were just talking about earlier. Crypto did not go away. Crypto remains. Crypto has grown significantly since. I mean, crypto is still a very big deal. Crypto is still traded not just on a couple of markets. Like there's a lot of trading platforms and there's a lot of different coins out there.
Yeah, I think I saw like there's like 40 major ones that are like worth over $1 billion or something like that.
There's
Just
a
a
lot
quick-
of crypto out
Quick
there.
search, but
It's ridiculous, wild shit that there's nothing backing it. There's nothing.
That's what, not many, I don't know.
It's
I mean,
out
it
of
must
thin
be
air
like,
bullshit.
it must be billionaires that invest in crypto because there's nobody that, I don't know.
no, regular people do that. They think it's almost like the way I look at it, and I know there's people that'll just disagree. That probably is it's like I think you look at it like a lot of people look like a get rich scheme,
Yeah.
but I look at it almost like a pump and dump. Like these companies probably get
Hey-o.
Yeah, correct.
yeah, bring your money and
Yep.
it's going to grow. And if you don't time it, you're going to get screwed.
100%.
But what do I know?
Hey, look, I'm no scientist.
I mean, this guy was born in 1992. Us who are born in the 70s, like I'm still kind of like that, mattress under or my money under my mattress type.
Sure.
Of, like you want to see it, you want to like the green dollar.
Yeah.
I don't know, like this crypto thing just blows my mind.
With
That
my
Bitcoin,
mind on my mattress and my mattress on my mind.
110%.
So, crypto remains a volatile market. In May and June of 2022, this was like 8 or 9 months after Sam moved to the Bahamas, Alameda suffered substantial losses in the crypto market. And I mean, look, again, you're going to see things like, you'll hear the articles like Bitcoin or this, that, or the other thing, where that thing will drop ridiculous amounts. And it'll increase ridiculous amounts. It's incredibly volatile.
What's that other one? Ethereum or something like that?
Ethereum is absolutely
about?
That's a Def Leppard song.
a coin. Yes. It
Yeah.
is.
Ethereum.
Wanna
get the feeling.
I thought it might have been a Tool album.
Ethereum, yes.
Could very well have been. But
Yeah.
either way, in order to cover Alameda's positions and to enable Alameda to pay off loans it had used to acquire the crypto it held, FTX loaned approximately $10 billion with a B to Alameda. Now, the $10 billion represented half of FTX's customers' funds. So there was a couple of things in that sentence I want to point out one more time. First things first, the loan to Alameda was for Alameda to pay off loans that Alameda had gotten in order to buy crypto. So it wasn't buying crypto with its own cash. It was borrowing cash to buy crypto. This ridiculously volatile thing. That's like,
Isn't that the same shit that Madoff did?
that's quite literal. No, he just, well,
He would take
similar.
people invested, and he would just use their money.
That's correct.
Yeah, to
That's the second
use as
part
his
of
own
this.
money.
Yep, that is the second
Okay.
part of this.
Okay.
But the first part, the loan part, there's no difference to what that was than if somebody goes to the bank, get a loan, and then you take that cash and you go to Vegas.
You're just gambling with it.
That is exactly what that was. So then, yes, the second part that I wanted to point out, and Matt very aptly, when you're acting in a fiduciary capacity, right?
Who?
Fiduciary. You're acting on
Means
behalf
you're being
of
a
somebody.
jerk.
Yeah, so I
that's
went to
right.
school with a couple of fiduciaries.
That's right. He's a real douche.
But yeah, continue.
When you have I will. Thank you.
Thank you.
When you have those customer funds, that's the customer's funds. Like you're holding those monies on their behalf, and you're investing on their behalf, and it's sitting where it is. You cannot take their customers' money and start making money of your own.
Yes,
The lawyers will get disbarred for that shit.
that's a no-no.
These trading companies will be kicked off of the exchanges for that. Like you can't fucking do that shit. Yeah. Oh, let's see. So all of that is a serious no-no. And P.S. the cryptocurrency itself, in which Alameda was significantly invested, the name of that coin was the FTT. That FTT was the exchange token that was issued by FTX.
So it was their own Bitcoin
Correct.
equivalent.
That's correct. It was FTX's own version of Bitcoin was the FTT. And as chance would have it, this closely held corporation, or this one that Sam just stepped away from, was invested heavily in FTX. So they're just loaning back and forth on something with no substantive value whatsoever. All right. So this is where this...
They're calling it a digital wallet. I just had to look up that stuff too.
Digital wallet is a thing. I have a digital wallet.
That's crazy.
Yep. I've never used it, but I have it. Okay. So news of Alameda's and FTX's ties ended up making its way to news outlets. Now there's this outfit out there, and this is what I have in my wallet or running my digital John. It's Binance. So Binance is the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange.
Does that, like, if you don't know it, like for sure, if you're like money or if you're like not money?
Yes.
You're like Binance.
You're Binance. That's right. That you're just dipping your toes.
You don't know what you are.
Yeah.
You're just like in the middle.
Are you paper or coin?
Yeah, you're paper. What are you?
Yeah.
That's the B in LGBTQ.
Yeah.
Oh, Binance.
Yeah, Binance.
Dang.
So, right. So news of Alameda's and their ties made its way to the outlets. Binance, again, a competing cryptocurrency exchange, the largest in the world, and at the time, holder of approximately 10% of the total FTT in circulation. Again, FTT is that FTX's version of Bitcoin, for lack of a better word. They announced far and wide, high on the hilltops, that they intended to sell its 10% stake in FTT currency.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So when you're the biggest swinging dick out there and you say, I'm selling off my position in this company, all of it, that's like, I mean, you've heard of Warren Buffett, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So if Warren Buffett is the majority holder of pick a company and he comes out and says, fuck it, I'm going to sell all of my shit in this company, that company's going under.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he is just the voice of power in that. In this case, Binance had that same power.
I saw a thing that kind of, and I would equate this to stocks similarly, that they said, a guy was explaining like how the stock market works. He said, think of like these, like your Warren Buffetts or your big heavy hitters as like in these little speedboats, and they can turn real quick. And all the masses of people are like big cruise ships. So when they go and sell something and turn the market, they're real quick about it. And the rest of us move real slow because we're in this big. So just like if this company's selling, they're getting out quick.
Yeah.
And then everybody else is kind of left behind.
They're when they're first to the news to say that I'm getting the hell out, that means that they're getting the hell out, and everybody hopefully can catch up.
Right.
Should those people choose.
Right.
Now there are between bull and bear markets, there are a lot of people that are into buying when stocks are on a downturn.
Yeah, what's he say?
It's cheap.
And he says when people get scared, get greedy.
Yeah.
Isn't that what he says or something like that? Yeah.
Absolutely. So that sale led all of the other FTX customers into a panic. Now, again, FTX is the exchange, right? Just for clarity one more time. FTX is the exchange. FTT is the coin.
The coin, yeah.
So FTX customers went into a panic. That panic led to customers liquidating their accounts at FTX. That liquidation reduced FTX's assets by $6 billion in one day.
Damn.
Now, when I say assets of FTX, this is like, think of the Great Depression, right? When people started learning that banks were going to fail, everybody ran to the banks like hell. I want to get my cash. Give me my cash. Think of It's a Wonderful Life. People ran to Bailey's shop. Give me my cash. Give me my cash.
They got no cash.
It got no money, and there you are.
Mm-mm.
That is exactly what ended up happening to FTX on that day. So their assets, not the coin, FTX's assets, reduced by $6 billion in one day. Now, it didn't just affect FTT or FTX. It also led to a decline across the board in all cryptocurrencies, because they see this one going, and it was a pretty big player.
Mm-hmm.
They see this one going, they think the whole shebang is going up.
Rome is burning. Yeah.
Correct. Exactly that. So on November 8th, not but 2 days after the sale of its stake in FTX's FTT currency, Binance announced its intentions to buy FTX and encouraged all crypto exchanges to cease using FTT as collateral, as it would be volatile during Binance's due diligence process. So what for lay people, what happened? So Binance sold its stake in FTT, drove the value of the company down to shit because everybody else is going to FTX, liquidating its FTTs. Now that the company's cheap as shit, Binance comes in and says, okay, now we're going to buy it. Like, this is complete market manipulation, right?
For sure, yeah.
But hey, in America, first you get the sugar, then you get the power, then you get the women.
Mm-hmm.
So in this, but that was Homer. I'm sorry, I had to do it.
My FTT won't let me be. So I can't get it out of my head.
So, so these guys swoop in and they say, okay, we're going to buy it. So that announcement alone, that was so step one. Now step two, when again the biggest swinging dick in the cryptocurrency market, Binance, when they come in and say, "Hey everybody, probably not a good idea for you to, be using FTT right now, to be, buying and selling and or using FTT because it's going to be really volatile. You should probably just stop using it for a bit." This is like God coming down and saying, "Hey, stop using the rupee or the shekel or the dinar, right? Just pick a currency that you just want to wipe out a small company or country."
Mm-hmm.
Same thing. It's the exact same concept.
Cosby shouldn't have used the rupee.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's bad news.
Slip me a rupee. So let's see. That announcement alone, again, this is Binance really just fucking with these guys. That announcement for all currency exchanges to cease using it, reduce the market value of the FTT token, the FTT currency, from $25 per coin down to $5 per coin. Dude, that's one day. It also reduced Bankman-Fried's personal wealth by $14.6 billion. Now, when I say his personal wealth, at its peak, his personal wealth was approximately $26 billion. So just in one day, he lost more than half of it. This was after all of the other shit had happened prior to that.
But when you're losing that many, like in $1 billion, like, is that big of a deal?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about, but I'm sure it still hurts.
The thing is,
Yeah.
the measure of that wealth, though, is in crypto, because he held very little hard assets, very little.
Right.
I'm saying comparatively speaking. Sure, he had millions socked away in this or that, in actual dollars.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, buried treasure. I don't give shit. That certainly existed, and he had, his parents had a house that he had purchased for him, and he gave them money and all kinds of shit like that. But 99% of his quote unquote wealth was tied up in crypto,
Like fake shit.
which again is just so goddamn volatile. It's just all over the place all day.
But like you were saying, I'm sure he had money in like what, liquid assets, or what would that be? Like actual hard, like whatever your assets are. Like he owned a lot of shit, because you're talking in billions of dollars. But like you said, I think he played with this crypto stuff, or the FTX. I think all that was just like kind of like him playing slots, pretty much.
Could be.
Like I don't know how you would base that on like actual real money, but I guess it is. I don't know. I don't get this
It's converted. I mean, I think when you
So you're not getting in with nothing. You have to get in with real money.
Yeah.
So it's like the lawnmower man.
That's a great movie.
You're converting the physical into the digital.
right. But you see this even with video games and stuff. I know, like,
Sure.
my kid, they played Fortnite. They had a thing called V-Bucks.
Yep.
And I mean, it would float around, and you got, if you got a lot of V-Bucks, you can buy a lot of product on in this game. It has a value. It's just insane what
It's getting skins.
getting skins, exactly. So everything, I guess, has a value.
Yeah.
Like that. But this stuff's just insane.
This stuff
It
is all
makes your
make
head
believe.
spin.
It's all based on, I think, demand or hype. Like there was a coin out there, I think it's called the Dogecoin.
Dogecoin, yeah.
That what's his name, Elon, was pushing. Like one day, Elon's at an interview and says, "Oh man, I've taken quite an interest in a good stake in the Dogecoin."
Yeah.
That day, it was up 100% or some shit.
Right. And
like-
that was all it started as a joke. I
Yeah.
think that Dogecoin was like a couple kids that were screwing around, and it's supposed to do with the Shiba Inu dog or something like that. It was all a joke. They put it out as a joke, really, and then it became something real. So
Something into which people took real money and invested.
invested
I like Dogecoin. She's like, "Bitch, I said what I said.
Oh, that's
I'd rather be famous instead."
I know-
Dogecoin. She's huge right now.
Yeah, I was going to say, I know that's an artist
Yeah.
similar, but I wouldn't know what she's
Doja Cat.
Doja Cat.
She's actually
yeah.
really like the kids love her.
Oh, yeah. I've
Apparently,
heard.
so does Matt.
Yeah, I do. She's great.
You're kicking out lyrics.
He's on Hits 1, man. He's listening to all that stuff.
I'm on what's
It's
that?
one.
Is it I think it's like side B on a Kids Bop.
Yes.
yeah.
Side BET.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was on November 8th. November 9th, the next day, this is the ultimate fuck you. Binance announced it's walking away from the deal.
No.
So again, Binance completely demolishes the company, liquidates its stake, completely demolishes the company and says, you know what, fuck it. We changed our minds. We're not going to buy this thing. So this thing was done. This company's over. That same day, November 9th, 2022, Alameda's website was taken down. The next day, November 10th, 2022, Bankman-Fried announced that FTX's intentions and efforts to raise $10 billion to remain solvent. Again, raising $10 billion. They're looking for investors. They're looking for whatever.
Kick in.
That same day, virtually all of FTX's legal and compliance team resigned. Again, when the lawyers and the compliance people are running for the hills, something is awry.
Bad, yeah.
Something is certainly awry. The next day, November 11th, Alameda Research and FTX filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection. Dude, this is such a wild ride. Like, I read this and to me, it just blows my mind. Again, 1 year earlier, this guy had just moved to the Bahamas and was listed on Forbes' richest of the richest.
30 youngest of the 30.
30 under 30.
And
26 billion. That's with a B.
And a year later, you're saying that they filed for Chapter 11.
Correct.
Because they have no money. The money's is gone.
The money is gone. The money is gone. Again, when you take it back to just its foundations and its fundamentals, they took customer money and they
Gambled with it.
They gambled with it, or they loaned it, or they did whatever to make even worse gambles, and it just went worse and worse and worse from there. There were no, there's supposed to be safeguards in place, but I mean, ultimately, I mean, as I was reading about this because it's crypto and it's all digital, it's all programming, right? So there are safeguards in place that says, hey man, you can't do this, you can't do that. There are things to automatically stop you that regulators will step in and say, you know, let's make sure that your controls are in place and are functioning as designed, so you're not dicking around with your customers' money, or that you're making risky bets. Because of this exchange, which is still to this day like not regulated. This is Vegas.
I thought you were going to say mount up.
This is absolutely not regulated shit. I don't want to say unregulated. I don't like I think the prefix "un" is way misused.
Well, I know that in China they outlawed it. Like
China.
Yeah, none of it. You can't do any of it over there. But I was amazed at the amount of celebrities that were involved in promoting this, and I didn't realize at the time even what the commercials were about. But looking back now, during the Super Bowl, there was a lot of commercials about cryptocurrencies.
Oh my God, yeah!
I think FTX itself had a commercial during the Super Bowl.
I don't know about the most recent, but I know that the year before this most recent,
it would have been like the 22 Super Bowl.
22 Super Bowl was ridiculous with crypto commercials. Mm-hmm. Redonkulous, some might say.
But how you're saying it's celebrities and stuff because they're the only ones that have that extra coin sitting around that they can invest in something like this is not a regular person.
So you would think, but as David mentioned, there is that get rich quick mentality out there.
Yes,
look, dude, I know kids that are in high school that have digital wallets.
Oh yeah, because you can buy like fractions of a.
Correct.
Yeah, because like Bitcoin, for instance, today's price, I just looked it up before we started, $64,351.60 a share.
Okay, per coin. Yep.
Per coin. So average person's not buying a whole coin.
Correct.
So you can buy fractions of it, I'm sure.
Yep.
But for instance, the first day that I could find that it was available, that looking at the 5-year or looking at the max. Just like a stock, The max time frame was November 27th, 2015. It was $327 a share, or a coin, I should say, not a share. But yeah, that's crazy. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, but you trust the stock market. I don't know, like if I would trust the whole Bitcoin. It kind of sounds like a pyramid type scheme. I don't know how, but
it's people smarter than all three of us put together making shit up. Like I just can't understand. I can't look. I'm not. I'll tell you. Be the first one to tell you. I'm no scientist. I just don't understand how one can put some kind of ridiculous value on these non-fungible token. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it's to me, like I said, I feel the same way.
It's also like art, though, right? So if somebody says that piece of art that some baby wiped his ass on a canvas,
throw it on a canvas.
I want $1 million for it. Mm-hmm. It's really whatever somebody's willing to pay.
Right.
So it's the same concept, I guess.
But that's what you get, like the hungry fish in a pond type thing. You keep throwing these little like tidbits out at them. You start seeing like it turns into a frenzy. And I think that's what people with money are always looking at, easy ways to get more money.
Yeah.
And I think this is how this whole thing, I don't know. To me, it's hard. I don't understand half of this shit. I really don't.
There was an NFL player maybe a year or two ago that took his his sign-on bonus in cryptocurrency.
Cryptocurrency,
I think
yes,
it was
I heard
like
about that.
Bitcoin.
Mhm.
He was like, don't pay me the traditional way. I want X amount of Bitcoins or what. I don't know if it was Bitcoin, but one of those. So
Whatever, man. It's not something I ever want to get into. I know that in recent years, institutional investors have gotten into this. And by institutional investors, I'm not talking about the institutions that are doing the investing, like your Merrill Lynch's or your Wells Fargo's or shit like that. I'm talking about, like when you said, like, so that we'll get to, like the celebrities that got hit with this loss, these significant losses, like a Bernie Madoff type loss. I saw there was a number of like pension funds
that are investing
that were invested in this goddamn FTT and FTX. Like, there's a lot of people that lost a lot of money in this.
Poof.
Saying that Madoff stuff, it's just he never had any. The people invested in, they were just giving him money. He didn't invest any. They weren't making anything off their investments.
So on paper, the Madoff thing is a whole different thing.
Yeah, that's a whole different thing. But that's actually a good thing to look into.
For
Do we
sure.
do him yet or no?
No.
That was a good one.
We did Minkow.
We did
Minkow.
definitely did Barry Minkow. Was Barry Minkow Barry Minkow was the ZZ Best carpet?
Yeah, Z Best
Z-Best
cleaning
carpet.
or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yep. That guy was a hero.
Oh yeah, he was good.
He was amazing. That guy, dude, that guy didn't care. So that guy was just straight fraud. Like, I mean, document fraud, not digital fraud. I mean, on paper, in your face fraud.
Insurance fraud.
He did it the old school way.
Yeah. Oh, we burnt down the office.
That's right. That's right.
Sprinklers.
Come visit the new office, and he'd pay construction guys to show up at some empty place.
Mm-hmm.
But then they say, like, anybody that makes that kind of money, like, you have to become crooked at some point.
I know. I
There's
was thinking you were going to go there with that. Yeah.
There's some deal or something that is made in your lifetime where you're like, okay, I can either go this way or this way. What's the right way and what's the wrong way? You got to go the wrong way.
Mm.
Yeah, I know. I figured you were going to bring that up.
I had a feeling Matt would bring that up as well.
Why?
Well, it came up on those other ones. I remember you were saying that on like the Barry Minkow.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. You have to do something wrong.
Like if you're getting ahead. That was like the point you made on that story was like anybody that gets that rich has done something along the way. I think was kind of along the lines of what you were saying.
Yes.
Has broken a rule or been a rule.
And I remain politely disagreeing with them. Politely.
A debate.
It is a debate.
Yes, it's non-debatable right now, but continue.
I'm not going to say that there's not bad actors. Of course there's going to be bad actors, but there's still a lot of good people out there, man, that will make a shit ton of money and they give it away and they do the right thing. There's that for sure exists. For sure. We only hear about the bad ones.
Yeah.
You only ever hear about the bad ones. Now think about that. There's a ton of Boy Scouts out there, right? You never see the newspaper article of the guy that helped the old lady across the street. You never do.
It's not a juicy story.
It's not a juicy story, but instead you hear about the gunshots and the whatever kind of shit that went down or the cop that got shot. That's what you hear about. You never hear about the good.
Yeah, you never hear the good story. But I'm saying for a lot of it's debatable.
Yeah. I know what you're saying though, Matt, and I know what you're saying, Zach, and I think
we can meet in the middle on that one.
I think, and I'm probably somewhere in the middle on it too. I feel like there's probably a lot of people that do, but a lot of people that don't. Probably somewhere in the middle. You know.
I'm just saying the ethical. There's a lot of unethical.
So you're saying
decisions.
You got to break a rule here.
There's a rule. There has to be some sort of rule that is broken along the way. They might say, "Hey, this isn't the," I would. They might say, I wouldn't think of it as doing something wrong.
Something small.
Yes, but something small could always be something bigger to somebody else down the ladder.
I disagree. I think there's just an element of hater. That you resent people with money.
I mean, if I had a couple Lambos outside of the house, but I'm saying there's probably something I did along the way that enabled me to get those.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on. Best of luck with altruism, Matt.
Thank you.
So
I'm investing tomorrow.
One day before he was scheduled to testify before the U.S. House Committee on Financial Services, Bankman-Fried was arrested. That was on December 12th, 2022. At this point, he was charged with wire fraud, conspiracy to commit wire fraud, securities fraud, conspiracy to commit securities fraud, and money laundering. After 10 days, Sam was extradited from the Bahamas to the United States, and he was released on a $250 million bail. Million M. Car doors only go like this.
Yeah.
At the time, and still to this day, it's the largest bail bond in U.S. history.
Did that come from his own finances, you think? or
His parents.
his parents?
Now, a bail bond is the actual money. Like you only have to pay a certain amount, like a certain percentage of the bail bond, correct?
25 mil. You got to pay 10%.
10%
of it.
Okay.
Yep.
Or that dude will come after you with the mullet.
That's right.
Yeah.
Dog the bounty
Dog.
hunter.
Yeah.
Him and like his wife.
Yeah.
She's like, go get him, dog.
I think that's in Hawaii, though.
P.S. There's a show on HBO. It came out like 20 some years ago. It was called Family Bonds.
Oh, I kind of remember that.
It was about a bail bond family. So as chance would have it, I know a guy who's a bail bondsman. There's so many aspects to that job, but in bail bonding, you can be just the bondsman, but you could, if you're going to be a bondsman, you're going to need to rely on a bounty hunter, or you can do it yourself. This family bonds, this show was about this family in Jersey that were both, they ran the bail bond the bail bond business, but they were also the bounty hunters to go get the guys that were skipping bail.
So they did it all.
Yeah, it was amazing. Great show.
Yeah.
Absolutely great show.
I'll come to somebody's house like dressed like Boba Fett.
Yeah, with the gun and the
That'd be
Like,
awesome.
oh shit!
jetpack.
Yeah, jetpack.
Fly down.
Be great. I know what he's here for.
Yeah, at least you'll avoid the traffic on 81.
Oh, I know, right?
So on January 3rd, 2023, of course, Sam pleaded not guilty to all charges. Now, 1 month later, in February, 4 additional charges were brought against him. These related to him making more than 300 political donations using funds from customer accounts. Fun fact, Matt. Sam Bankman-Fried was the second largest individual donor to the Joe Biden 2020 election with a total $5.2 million. That was after
Soros.
No. That was after Michael Bloomberg. After Bloomberg.
Yes.
Oh.
And he was also the second largest individual donor to the 2022 Democratic Caucus with a total donation value of $39.8 million, which was second to
Soros.
That is correct.
Oh, so that was okay.
Yep.
I'm sure that was all clean money though.
Yep. Well, it was his customers' money.
Yeah, that was all well earned.
Yeah.
Clean money.
I did hear a thing on I was listening to a podcast about this guy, and they said that he did donate to both sides though too. Maybe not as much
On the Republican side,
but he was playing both sides, I guess.
Mhm.
I looked that number up just to make sure because I'm happy to be clear on both of this.
Mm.
On the for the 2020 election, he didn't do shit.
Mm.
On the 2022 Democratic Caucus, compared to that 39.8, he had contributed $292,000
To the Republican
to
side.
the Republicans.
That was it.
292,000 versus 39.8 million.
Well, it's a lot more, but do you think he was doing it on both sides for like protection, almost
like hedging his bets.
Yeah, like almost like, oh, if one or the other gets in, I guess you would think if you were doing it more that way, you would.
I honestly think this guy, the way that this guy's mind worked, I think it was really for the issues. Like I wholeheartedly believe that he dug deep enough on what these guys cared about when it came to like at the time. So like pandemic prevention or earthy shit or whatever.
Earthy shit. That's
yeah.
great.
Yeah,
He was actually like he was concerned.
So he was really looking at not looking out for himself, because they were saying maybe it was to like hedge his bets. Like,
Sure.
oh, well, then if something comes down the road and you have political connections,
this way you could say, hey man, look, I donated to your campaign.
Get me out of this.
That's right.
Yeah, but that's like a political thing, and I think you guys would agree with me. Like it's like rich people want to be Democrats. They want to be like, oh, I feel for the poor. I want to help. I want to give. This sounds like he was like so rich. He's kind of like going Democrat like that because he wanted to give. Like I'm giving, even though what Dave was saying, I think they play both sides of the fence.
I disagree. But needless to say, this is not the time for political debate.
No, with the big 2-2-4, 2-2s, 2-0-2-4
So Bankman-Fried,
election.
his his trial began. Oh, nope, I'm going to go back one. So a month later, we're now in March of 23. Sam was indicted for sending $40 million to China in hopes of them unfreezing his crypto accounts that were sitting there.
Yeah, I think that's probably at the time when they outlawed everything over there.
Correct.
And they were shutting it all down.
They were saying, look, dickhead, you made this money over here, or we're waiting for you to go through your court process in order for us to have to liquidate this shit anyway. Your assets are frozen. We're not releasing these funds.
Mhm.
So ultimately he tried to grease the wheels, essentially bribe Hey man, look, here's $40 million. Can you unfreeze my account so I can get whatever's in there?
Do you know like how they, speaking of that, over in China where they had people basically unlocking this currency, how they do it? They use like computers basically to, now you got to run like a ton of computers, I guess a lot of computing power to, you have to basically verify the, like say like Bitcoin, for instance, or FTT. You have to like verify that it's a legit, I forget, they use the term like blockchain of coins.
Blockchain. Yep.
So they farm that out to people with computers, all these computers to basically farm this cryptocurrency. And if you do that for them, they'll reward you with, basically Bitcoin or whatever cryptocurrency.
Yeah, that's correct. Anybody can do this.
Yeah.
You can go out and buy a processor, and you can do whatever it is out there, and you can just buy as many as you want. You can get air-cooled ones. You can get water-cooled ones. Put them all in a room and just let them run.
I keep on thinking of weird science, like trying to get into it, like going through those things that they were going like on the computer.
Up.
Yeah,
it's exactly
like big
that.
blocks.
Right.
It is exactly that.
We ran into that with my son because he's a gamer and he has his own PC he built and he was buying parts for it and upgrading. He wanted to get a new graphics card, a GPU.
That's it. It's the graphics card. That's what does the shit.
Yeah, the graphics card. So.
Not the processor.
What is it? Not AMD. What's the big graph? NVIDIA. So so their stock was going through the roof. Yeah. And the prices of these graphics cards were through the roof. And my son's like, why are these like,
what do you mean by what is the price of a graphics card?
Let's just say like retail is $250. Let's just say they were selling for $500. Like they were sold out everywhere. And then if you can find one like on eBay or something, they're double the price
because so many people were buying them to do this shit,
do this instead of gaming. So NVIDIA said like, to the retailers, like, hey, try to sell to like gamers, like, you know what I mean? But they can't control that. They're just trying to sell product. But I thought that was an interesting side thing to all this is how that affects that whole industry. Supply and demand, man. So the smart money would be take your money, invest in, at that time, NVIDIA.
Dude, so have you, so fun fact, it's amazing. My wife pointed out the value of NVIDIA to me probably by now like 2 years ago. Take a look at the action on NVIDIA. Look at NVIDIA's stock for like the last 5 years.
Oh, it's crazy. Yeah.
It's almost like Bitcoin. Like it is insane how big and how much money that place has amassed. It is well, not that place, but the value of that company is unreal. Good for them, I say.
Yeah, I saw I think it was a CEO, and he was doing a presentation on this new processor they're coming out with, graphics card basically, and it was like I forget how many billions they invested in developing this thing, but the company's like on cloud 9 right now. Sure. They're doing so well.
Is he a young kid, their CEO? Is he an older
he's
guy?
like our age probably. If I had to guess.
Close to 50s?
From what I remember of the video, it was on YouTube. I was watching it, but
Is his name Sam Bankman-Fried?
Nah. Okay. Sam Bankman locked up.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So after all of that, March, China, try to bribe China. Sam's trial began in October of 2023, and it definitely didn't take long to conclude. The trial ended not but a month later in November. Bankman-Fried was found guilty of all charges, which by now included 2 counts of wire fraud, 2 counts of conspiracy to commit wire fraud, conspiracy to commit securities fraud, conspiracy to commit commodities fraud, and conspiracy to commit money laundering. He ended up getting 25 years and a fine of more than $11 billion. That's with a B. Car doors go like this.
Yeah.
His first appeal was filed not but a week ago on April 11th, 2024. At his peak, again, at just shy of 30 years old, he had maintained a personal wealth valued at $26 billion with a B dollars. Today, at 32, not but 2 years later, he is worth 0.
You shouldn't say that about somebody.
He's
0.
That's ignorant.
His wealth.
He's worth something.
His wealth is worth 0. That's right. I bet he is worth something to his cellmate when he's looking to make a chi-chi.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
he'll get out someday though. You know, you think he'll serve the full 25? Probably not.
No, I think
maybe 10.
Yeah, he ain't going to even serve that. He'll serve 5.
I think they were ballparking 18, but I would not be surprised, to Matt's point, I would not be surprised if it gets out sooner.
And then he'll get out and write a book, and then have like
he'll make millions again.
and then he'll have like a show or a movie.
I bet in
I'm sure
prison,
he'll get.
I'm saying, in prison, he's learning to pee sitting down.
Yeah, he'll be selling Bitcoin.
Bitcoin. Nice.
Ooh, that is awesome.
Yeah,
So it's interesting when you as we talk about this, we're going through this, and we're talking about this guy's motive. Really, what is his motive? Now, there's the Barry Minkos of the world, right, who took customers' money, complete fraud, and I mean, by customers, I mean investors, all kinds of shit. Defrauded all kinds of people to make all kinds of money, to buy ridiculous houses, Lamborghinis, boats, you name it. Just like the Wolf of Wall Street guy. Same shit. Same thing. This guy, Sam Bankman-Fried, when he moved to the Bahamas, and even to the point where he was arrested, he lived in an apartment with 2 roommates. 2 roommates.
yeah.
This is a billionaire with a B. Car doors go like this. Like, he was not living on some kind of extravagant, huge compound, ridiculous shit. He just lived in a fucking apartment with 2 roommates.
I feel like people do that shit sometimes because it looks cooler. Like I saw like
You just wanted like friends to hang out with, like an entourage or
well,
something?
I saw like the one celebrity. I think it was like who played Batman? Christian Bale. He drives like a '98 Tacoma.
That's awesome.
Which it's cool.
That's fantastic.
And I like Christian Bale. I like him as an actor, and I don't know him as a person, but I'm thinking like sometimes people probably do shit just to be like different.
Well, Clint
Like,
Eastwood's like
cool.
that too. He drives like a Typhoon from like the
92
Yes,
Tycoon
yes.
GMC.
Dude, I ended up looking up those things. Like, it was months ago. I was looking up values of like old Blazers, and I was looking up this, that, those Typhoons were sharp as hell.
They were
man.
awesome.
I think that it takes a shit ton to run those though.
And there was a pickup version
Big V8 in there.
called the Cyclone.
There was.
Yeah.
There was. Okay. So, when we talk about things like billions, right? And we will jokingly say things like car doors go like this instead of like this.
Mm-hmm.
When you hear somebody say $1 billion, none of us, and I mean none of us, has any concept of what that means.
You can't fathom.
You don't even know.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, to me, when I hear something like $750 million, to me, just the fact that there are 3 numbers in that 750, to me sounds greater than 1 billion.
Right.
And that's even to me, just because I can't understand. I can't fathom having that much money.
Right.
So we're going to go through a little exercise here for all of you to wrap your head around.
I'm having flashbacks, Matt. How about you? Looking at this sheet.
That's my code. That's my coding here. All right. So the size of a dollar bill, right? Size of a dollar bill, pull one out of your wallet right now, is 6.14 inches by 2.61 inches. And it is basically 1/2 of 1/100th of a millimeter. It's 0.1. I'm sorry, it's 0.1 millimeter thick.
And that's the actual paper bill.
That's the bill. It's 1/10 of 1 millimeter thick. Again, 6 inches and change by 2 3/4 inches. That's how big it is. So, from a diagram perspective, comparing 1 million to 1 billion, if you take 1 million with an M, 1 million $1 bills, and you lay them out and you basically make a carpet out of them, right? You make it to cover an area. You could cover 2 football fields.
That's for $1 million.
$1 million.
Hold on, slow down, Sam. I'm going to be sick for a second. All right.
You take a million
Okay.
$1 bills, you could cover 2 football fields.
Okay.
If you take a billion $1 bills, you're covering 4 square miles.
Damn.
What is that like? How many football fields is that?
Well, I mean,
So now that I have like, I'm looking at the football field.
Since you asked that question,
Break
all
it
right.
down.
Well, so this is easy. A billion is 1,000 million. So if a million bills can cover 2 football fields, 1,000, that's essentially 2,000 football fields is what you're covering with a billion.
That's insane.
Right. So I'll take that a step further. So that's just covering a blanket size. So let's go on for height for an even better perspective.
Stacking paper.
Stacking paper. The thickness of a dollar bill. If you take 1 million of those and you stack them all up, you will achieve 358 feet which is approximately like a 30 to a 35-story building. So if you take, now that's a million.
Yeah.
A million is 358 feet tall. Again, like a 30, 35-story building. A billion bills stacked on top of one another is almost 68 miles
What?
high.
Wow.
To be clear, jets fly at approximately 6.8 miles. Jets, they're flying at 36,000 feet.
Mm.
This is at 68.
So that's higher than
Mile.
the 40 stories of sheer adventure, like Bruce Willis.
Yeah, I
in
was
Die
thinking
Hard.
I think I was 35.
Dude,
40 stories.
You're in the stratosphere or the troposphere at 68 miles.
Yeah, you're almost out of the
Correct.
yeah.
That's 1
Out in
billion.
space.
Some cats like Bezos and stuff, they're worth what? 100-some billion?
Jeffrey Bezos. You can actually, you could do an internet search for that right now. Jeffrey Bezos is the second richest man in the world today, right this second.
Oh, Tesla took over.
No.
No.
Didn't he? Oh, who?
Number one guy is the Louis Vuitton guy from France,
Louis Vuitton?
the owner of Louis Vuitton. And
Number
because it's
one.
not just Louis Vuitton, there's a
It's
lot
a
of luxury
the
brands.
conglomerate, yeah.
I always strip off when they talk about like those billionaires, if they could give every person in the world X amount of money, and, you know what I mean, and still have something left
Billions.
over. Like they can give every person in the whole world this amount. I forget what the number was.
It's
But-
again, wrapping your head around a billion versus a million.
Yeah.
A billion, 1,000 million. It's essentially 1,000 increments of 358 feet, which is going to get you to 68 fucking miles. That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's
Now,
like having the basement down here and like shoe boxes of like $100 bills.
hell yeah.
Like stacked to
With
the brim,
grill marks.
and it'd still be like a couple $1 million.
Shit, yeah.
That wouldn't even be.
When you think about Escobar and what they were, all the money they were moving, the millions and millions, they had to put it in houses, like build it into the walls of
They
the
were
houses.
building their own pyramids.
And
That's like in Blow,
yeah,
remember?
exactly. Yeah.
In Blow, he had to get like new houses just to put the regular cash money away.
Yeah.
You have so much money, you don't know,
But that's
know
like
what to do with
that
it.
was only like a couple million though. That's like 3-4 million.
And he wasn't doing it with ones.
Yes, those were $100
Yeah, they were-
bills
they
and
were-
50s.
I got one last example for you. One last. So what did we do now? We've done area, we've done height. Now I'm going to do distance. This one, I think, is, in my opinion, it's probably the easiest for me to wrap my head around because I'm always on the fucking ground, right? Like
Right.
I'm not that high in the
Yeah.
air. So distance, you take 1 million bills, 1 million $1 bills. You line them up end to end. That'll take you 96 miles.
For $1 million.
1 million bills, $1 million in ones. It'll take you from here to basically City Line Avenue, just outside of Philadelphia. It won't get you from your house, Dave, from your house to City Line Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
Again, just outside of Philly. You're 10 miles short of Philly. That's 96 miles.
Damn.
You take 1 billion of those, you can circle the earth 4 times.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's crazy.
1 billion $1 bills will get you around the earth 4 fucking times versus the million that'll get you from here to Philly.
Philly, mind blown on that.
So
Think
there
about that.
there it is. That's really the best way if I could put anything into perspective for anybody, like when you put math and measurement and obviously how big these notes are, that's how it works out. And that's crazy.
That is a lot.
So with that billion, this guy had 26 of those.
Millionaires are poor.
Yeah. Well, it just goes to show too, like you have that much money, like to invest in something like this, you're probably like, whatever. If I lose $1 billion and you're worth 26,
Yeah, but
you
like
lose
Zap
like
said,
$2 billion.
his life's worth nothing now. He's
Right,
worth
true.
nothing. Zero.
Now you're right, Matt. His life, I'm sure, is worth something to his mother and father.
Yes.
Who
He means
profited
something.
Who profited well off of his ventures.
Yeah, I'm sure they got a little bit. I'm sure they're not living in an ugly house somewhere.
No, all in all, I think he ended up giving them between the cash and the house. I think they ended up getting 32 or 35 million,
Yeah, that's good money there.
which means
Probably
a million, just million. So they could go back and forth from here to Philly 32 times.
These people are so narcissistic they can't get out while they're ahead.
Right. So I was going to ask you guys, and I figure I wait till the end. So neither of you, and I haven't myself either, have ever invested in any kind of cryptocurrency.
I was this close. So I'd mentioned earlier, I got the wallet and I got the whatever the exchange thing. And I at one point I was really into it. Hell, I was actually going to go out and buy graphics cards and try to do that shit. But
mine it. Yeah.
the juice was not worth the squeeze
Worth
for
the
that.
squeeze. Matt, nothing for you.
Yeah, none
Crypto.
of that in my portfolio.
Yeah.
No,
I got nothing.
I got nothing.
Start ODB coin.
Yeah.
Should put that out.
I got some Susan B. Anthony's though.
Oh,
I do
Which
also.
one?
Yeah,
Which
yeah.
one's that? The
Half
the
time.
$50 one.
No,
Okay.
I'm sorry. Is that no? Susan B's are the $1.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
Susan
full
B is the
one,
$1. Yeah.
I got you.
JFKs or the whatever are the 50 cents.
I got some Chuck E. Cheese.
Shit,
coins,
yeah.
yeah, from the arcade
Man, hell yeah.
back in the 80s.
That's good
but
stuff.
Susan B. Didn't she like sew the flag? Was that her?
Yes.
I get her confused.
No, that was Betsy Ross. Susan B. Anthony
Susan B.
was
She's the one that was in the back of the bus.
that was Rosa Parks.
What the hell was Susan B. What did she do? She signed the Declaration of Independence?
that sounds like somebody transitioning. Susan B. Anthony.
Yeah.
Susan B. Anthony.
Who's that? That's Susan. No, man, what you?
She's on the binary code or whatever.
Susan B. Anthony.
Susan B. Anthony. No, she be Susan. Susan B. Anthony.
He ain't lying.
I made my day.
Top shelf.
Yes.
Good.
All right. Well, I hope we all learned a lot today. What a million versus a billion, and easy come, easy go.
I enjoyed it because, like I said, I enjoy that you brought this up because crypto in general I'm interested in, but I don't want to be left outside looking in at the party. You know, I'm saying like a couple years from now, but I feel kind of confident now that maybe I'll be okay if I don't invest in this, but maybe not.
Stick with Binance.
Who knows?
Yeah, Binance.
They're
right.
they're the biggest. They're the largest. They're the longest standing. They're good. I'm saying if you're going to get into that wild ass, or you could just take your money, drive up to the casino, and get the same result.
Throw it out that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
At least, well, I guess this is kind of like gambling too. It's the same kind of rush. It goes up, it goes down, like a stock.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But
Sure.
stocks are obviously a little more stable.
I liked it. It was really interesting. Like I said, I told you guys I didn't read. I tried to read into this. It kind of made like my frontal lobe hurt
Arbitrage.
a little bit. I felt like mind fucked a little on this, but it's crazy. It's just I don't know. There's so much out there like this, and who knows what's next?
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah.
Could be something else, or people like invest in this, invest in that.
I will say back to that, like talking about the VR world and all that. Honestly, like there's people that talk about that. There's people that are buying real estate in the virtual world now.
Yeah, for sure.
So like, for instance, Snoop Dogg had a piece of real estate in the virtual world. I think it was him, for instance, and lots next to his virtual world house are worth X amount of dollars. Like people are paying a premium. Because down the road, that's what it's going to be. People are going to put VR headsets on and live in their avatar in these worlds and stuff. So it's stuff that it seems like science fiction, like The Matrix.
Yeah.
You think it's really going to happen, though? I mean, they've been talking about that on sci-fi for so long.
I promise you it's going to happen.
It's going to happen. It's happening now. There's people that don't leave their house and just, live with their avatars in their VR world now on a smaller scale.
And they live in their parents' basement.
Yeah. So
Nothing wrong with that.
but Zab, that was a cool one. I'm glad you brought in. I like these white collar crimes, the financial stuff. They're good.
Again, it's hard for me to wrap my head that this was actually a crime. I honestly just think that this guy was out of his depth.
Yeah.
He just, I'm sure he was great at math. And of course, anybody's going to see, these numbers are growing. Yeah, I'm worth billions. That's great. But just like me, this guy had no concept what money was or how much money he had. And he's just, I don't know, playing with it. I don't know.
He just basically gambled and got burnt.
He got
if
burnt.
they want to call it the money, maybe it would have panned out. Maybe they would have gambled with the money and replaced it, and none of this would ever happen.
I think when you take real people's money and you turn it into something that was this, if you're the one that created it, and if you're the one that wants to make money on it, but you also want to be that altruistic and make sure that also the other people are doing well, everybody can't win all of the time.
Yeah, somebody's going to get burnt.
And what was he was sentenced to how many years again?
25.
25. For most of his charges were conspiracy, right? He was conspiring to do all this shit.
So it's like a Don and the think of the Godfather, right? So the Godfather wasn't the one killing people, but he pushed the
buttons.
He had the people do it for him. Same concept. So while he wasn't necessarily pushing the buttons, he had the developers and the programmers and the whomever and the salesmen and you name it doing all of the stuff that he wanted them to do. And
kind of like Manson with money.
Not unlike Manson. There you go. There you go. Mind control.
Yes.
Mind over matter.
Nice.
Doesn't matter.
I got my mind on my money and my money on my binary Bitcoin
And
code
my mattress.
on
That's
FTX.
Yep.
But yeah, that was a good one. We'll definitely be back next week with a vintage cinema review. I think we're doing Die Hard, so that'll be a good one.
Ooh.
Nakatomi.
Ooh.
Yeah. So and then week after that, hopefully back to true crime. We'll see though. You never know.
Hopefully.
in the basement.
Yeah.
So guys, got anything else?
No, I'm done. My mind's burned out.
Yeah, thank you for
Thank
Sam Bankman-Fried.
Sam
Like that.
Bankman-Fried.
My Fried. Oh, sorry.
Fried.
I was saying my mind is fried
Macaulay Culkin.
from all those big words.
Yeah, so don't forget to find Old Dirty Basement on Facebook and Instagram at Old Dirty Basement, and on TikTok at Old Dirty Basement Podcast. I guess that's it for now, so we'll catch you where?
On the flip side.
If we don't see you sooner, we'll see you later.
Peace. Thanks for hanging out in the Old Dirty Basement. If you dig our theme music like we do, check out the Tsunami Experiment. Find them on Facebook. Their music is available streaming on Spotify and Apple, and where great music is available.
You can find us at Old Dirty Basement on Facebook and Instagram, and at Old Dirty Basement Podcast on TikTok.
Peace.
We Audi 5000.